Chris Harris going to tell his 10,000-year-old Bantu lie again, to prove that the Bantus are older than Abraham. Let's listen to this foolishness.
Okay, as you all heard all that gish galloping and him giving you an incoherent answer, he's layered it with so much, it's hard to follow all of that. But he did make mention of the Tutsi people, who I'm very aware of, and the Tutsi people happen to be a Bantu ethnic group. The Bantu peoples go back 10,000 years, so they predate Abraham.
What the fuck? Let's go back and watch that again.
And the Tutsi people happen to be a light his ass up when I come back. Like I did. Okay, as you all heard all that gish galloping and him giving you an incoherent answer, and he's layered it with so much, it's hard to follow all of that. But he did make mention of the Tutsi people, who I'm very aware of, and the Tutsi people happen to be a Bantu ethnic group. The Bantu peoples go back 10,000 years, so they predate Abraham. They have nothing to do with the Israelite tribes other than being converts.
Around 4,000 years ago, according to African American Registry, it is generally accepted that the Bantu-speaking peoples originated from West Africa around 4,000 years ago, although there is less agreement on the exact reasons for in course of their expansion.
So as we can see, the first site is from, again, African Registry again. The first site that I was reading from. The second site here is from www.pasture.ff, home.mi. And it says that how long have Bantu people existed? During a wave of expansion that began 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, Bantu-speaking populations. Today, so it says that during a wave of expansion that began 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, the Bantu-speaking populations. Today, some 310 million people gradually left their homelands of West Central Africa and traveled to the eastern and southern regions of the continent. He said 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. So you'll never find nobody ever said anything more than the Bantu people going back more than 5,000 years. But the general consensus is always 4,000 years. Right here in the Wikipedia article, we talk about the origin and expansion of the Bantu. It says the Bantu languages are theorized to derive from the Proto-Bantu reconstructed language, estimated to have been spoken about 4 to 3,000 years ago in Central West Africa. So now we have a chance. We're talking about 3 to 4,000 years ago, where the first article said 5 to 4,000 years ago. So we're looking at from 3 to 5,000 years ago. There's nothing in the records that ever said anything. There's no scholar. You're not going to find Chris Harris. The stuff he says unscholarly. No scholar in the world will support that. You see this article right here in the Bantu people study.com group. You know, you see right here, it said around 1500 BC, the Bantu speakers stumbled upon domestications of yams and bananas. So they starting their origin off at 1500 BC, not 10,000. World History Encyclopedia, the Bantu migration. The Bantu migration from their origins in southern West Africa saw a gradual population movement sweep through the central, eastern, and southern parts of the continent, starting in the mid-second millennium BCE. Starting now in the mid-second millennium BCE, not in the mid-8th millennial BCE or the mid-10th millennial BCE, like Chris Harris is saying, and finally ending around 100 and 1500 CE, excuse me. None of this 10,000 year stuff. Now you scroll on over to this page right here, and you scroll on down to this video. We're going to find this one video where we got this guy, Chris Harris, telling this fib again. This video right here where it says the Bantu was coined in 1865 by William I. Bleak, and don't go back to Abraham like Chris Harris says. Let's get it, people. This is where we're going to compare what these guys have to say to what we just learned and see who's telling the truth.
It's not Ashan, which means burnt village. It's Asante. They'll check you on that real quick. 2, that picture that he showed of that Asante priest crossing the Pra River, that was a drawing. 3, that chest plate that he had on, that chest plate is with those plate did not contain the 12 tribes of Israel like that book tried to push. Those are Ndinkra symbols that the Asante wear around their neck that had nothing to do with some ephod that we've never found. So how would they even know what an ephod looks like when they've never found an Israelite ephod? So I mean, the book is garbage. Throw it away.
All right. He said that the breastplate that was on the drawing. Now, the fact that he brought up that it was a drawing was just ridiculous. If it was a drawing, he should have left it at a drawing and not commented upon it. But since he's commented upon it, he's saying that the drawing upon the priest's neck in Africa was not Levitical ephods. What they were Ndinkra symbols. Let's go take a look at that. This is the drawing that Chris Harris is talking about. And he's talking about that necklace and that ephod, that plate that's around his neck, that is divided in 3 rows across and 4 rows down in 12 pieces that are all, these are he say are Ndinkra symbols. And the Israelites are saying that they are Levitical ephods. As we can back up on out of here, we can go and look at this image right here, which is a better image. This is the image that he's talking about. Now let's look up what Israelite ephods look like. See this image here? This is an ephod, an Israelite ephod. The image on the brother's neck, you can see clearly that's an ephod. All right. You see it got rocks. This here is an ephod. This is what that man had on his neck in that picture. This is identical to that. Let's do some lookership here, okay? Common sense. Ephods. Okay? All images of ephods. Excuse me. These are ephods. See, worn on a priestly neck. You see it, the ephod, right? Now, Chris is telling you this is not this, or it's not this, or it's not this, or it's not this. What Chris is telling you is that this ephod upon this priest, and this is a priest in Africa, he's telling you that this ephod upon this priest's neck is not an ephod. He's telling you that these are Ndinkra symbols. So Chris is telling you that this is actually, is this. These are Ndinkra symbols. This don't look nothing like this. Take a good look at this, people. This don't look nothing like this. These are Ndinkra symbols, people. Take a look at all of these. Ndinkras. 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 This here don't look nothing like what was on that priest's neck in that photo. Ndinkra. Here's a list of Ndinkras, people. Don't none of this look like the stuff that Chris Harris was talking about. It is one of several traditional cloths produced in the region. There are more than 200 Adinkra symbols and meanings to each one of them, and don't none of them look like anything that was on that priest's neck. Who's telling the truth?
It's not Ashan, which means burnt village. It's Asante. They'll check you on it real quick. Two, that picture that he showed of that Asante priest crossing the Pra River, that was a drawing. 3, that chest plate that he had on, that chest plate is with those plate did not contain the 12 tribes of Israel like that book tried to push. Those are Ndinkra symbols that the Asante wear around their neck that had nothing to do with some ephod that we've never found. So how
You decide. Stop letting people lie to y'all. Now, we're going to watch Chris tell this lie one more time. Watch this, y'all. Historical facts and realities. Now, do y'all see this silly shit? That's silly. That's just silly. That's very, very ignorant. This nigga is expressing his open ignorance to the public and have not disproved anything I said yet. Yet, to this day, they haven't disproved anything I said yet. Converts. They have nothing. They are a Bantu people, and they predate Abraham. They have nothing to do with Abraham. And there's a well, he said that they were a Bantu people that predate Abraham, but how can that be when the Bantu people was not heard of before 1865? Okay, we just showed you the evidence earlier in the damn program. William Bleak. Okay, William Bleak is the European, and I'm telling you, it is a fact that William Bleak was the very first person to ever call these people Bantu. And you're saying that they go all the way back before Abraham. Where are you getting this false information, brother? I'm telling you that William Bleak was the first man whom scholars and archaeologists and anthropologists say, and historians say, they coined the term Bantu, brother. That term did not go all the way back to Abraham, brother. So therefore, those people could not go back to Abraham because William Bleak and McCallaghan, if I think that's his name, these people went and named these term Bantu and pygmies to all of the people in Africa, brother, and people who are genetically different. Okay, that's what they had done. All right, but you're lying and saying that Bantus go back before Abraham, and that's a lie. The word Bantu itself don't go back before 1865 in designation to a language or a people, because the Bantu the Bantu language is one with the Swahili language, man. Okay. The Bantu language, there is no such thing as the Bantu language. Each one of those people had their own dialect and rendition of a language. They came actually from the Zulus. Okay? So you need to just stop it, man. We got evidence that the archaeologists and the anthropologists before 1865 didn't even know who these people were. And I bear witness today that these people do not know who these people are. They still don't know. And they cannot be Bantus if William Bleak created this term in 1865. Chris, you're a liar.
Matter of fact, they were also in a place called Yemen, and they began to mix with those people over there. So yes, they do come.
Now you see what he's doing? I just said that they come from Yemen. I said that they came from the Levant into Arabia, down through Yemen, And now he's agreeing with me. Now, do you see how this nigga shoot himself in the foot? I don't let niggas get away with shooting themselves in the foot. I just let you go ahead and record it so I could take you back home and show the people how I just really just destroyed you people and made you beat your own self up. How can I be not telling the truth when you're saying the exact same things that I'm saying? Okay? You can't beat me so you join me tactic. And then I still lose the conversation. Man, that's foolishness and biasness and high ignorance. Because you niggas can't fuck with me, son.
From over there, but they've always been who they are. They are a Bantu people. Stop. Two, here's their ancient scroll. Hold on, ain't no okay now. Let me finish talking. Okay, two, can you back that up? With showing us. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, I will, brother, but be respectful, dude. I am being respectful. You're the one cutting in.
You're not.
Have some discipline, Kohen.
Motherfucker, brother, this is the first time I cut you off, brother, and you tell me to have some discipline. You niggas done cut me off like 5 times, bro. And a bunch of multiple times in which I had to tell y'all that I stopped counting, bro. You niggas garbage, man. You boys are trash, and I mop you boys up every time. I'm showing y'all why these people do what they do. Okay?
So like I said, can you back the limb up by showing us, here you go again, can you back that claim up by showing us an ancient scroll which consists of Aramaic writings, because the Israelites or the Jews of the Bible, whoever these people are, they always carried their text with them. Can you show us a Tanakh, which can...
You can say that they always carried their text with them. You understand? You can say that, but you can't prove that, brother. You need to, before you hold me to anything, you need to prove what you say. And you don't do that, my friend. You don't prove nothing you say. You don't come to it with a source. You never come with anything to lead us to where we can find what you're saying, because they're all lies, man. You don't have no evidence that the Jews carried the Torah everywhere they went, because we have you people on record saying that the Jews didn't even exist. Crazy, brother. You niggas is ridiculous.
Consists of Torah, Nevi'im, Kethaim, backed up with a Talmud, which consisted of Mishnah and Gemara. Can you show us any of those things? Can you show us their...
I shouldn't have to when you started off the show with the Talmud saying that these people ran into Africa. You saying that you said it, and then you said that you was going to disprove it, and you never did. But you did sit up there and prove that the Jews went into Africa in the Babylonian Talmud. You niggas is silly, man. You niggas silly.
Tradition is, excuse me, can you show us their tradition? You cannot. So it's based on belief, right?
I can show you their traditions, but I can't show you a Torah. And there's reasons why I can't show you a Torah. And so showing you a Torah is not the telltale proof that whether these people were existent in Israel or not. Now, you say that these people are Bantu, especially when the dominant Christians and Muslims banned their Torahs and burnt them. And stop it, bro. If they carried it with them, and there's a reason why they don't have them, because they were banned by the Muslim Caliphate and the Catholic monarchies, brother. You're silly, and this is documented. Man, you're silly, man. These limbers say they are Bantu. All right? But the limbers say the truth of the matter is that there really is no such people as a Bantu people. I forget the white man's name who created that particular moniker to put over them. But the European gave all those people that name, as well as pygmies and all of the other designated names that was given to these people, including the Zulus. None of these people were called by these names. That's a fact. Number two, you say that these people are not Jews, but before 1865, there was no such thing as Bantu or Zulu as a designation of a people or a language, and that is a fact. Okay? So that shit don't go back before Abraham. That's a fucking lie. And you don't have no archaeological evidence, and you certainly don't have no genetic evidence, because Razib Khan said that they have little to no genetic evidence of Africa because of the tropical regions. All right. So you guys just need to just stop the fucking lies, man. The anti-God, anti-black progression movement, the anti-Israel movement. This shit is really silly, man. All right. They say that they are. And they say that they are through their oral traditions, and the geneticist says so as well. So I don't know what part of this you're not getting, bro. Hold on a second. Biblical DNA, come on in and cheer that DNA and all that stuff. Come on in, brother. Open up your mind. Biblical DNA, cheer it up real quick. I'm here, I was eating, but I'm gonna go ahead and open up the MacBooks. So you had it earlier, do you want to get that up? Check him on it and you don't stop him on it, he's going to just keep telling this lie. And when he wouldn't let me go there, I just decided to just let these boys lie so I could go home, because I got the evidence. So I could go home and give the world the real truth. Plus, without this video, I already spanked them up, because I told them. Over here, now I'm proving it. Adopted. Excuse me, let me finish talking. Ain't no so what? That mean they predate Abraham. The Bantus don't predate Abraham, brother. Abraham. So what's your date for Abraham? No, what's my date for the Bantus is like the 1800s, brother. 1800 BCE, right? Nah, CE, brother. There was no. Oh my God. Wait a minute. The Bantu people only go to 1800 CE? You just killed yourself. Yeah. All you got to do is go back and say who designated the term Bantu. All right? And then you open this up right here. Right? Okay? A note on the term Bantu is first used by William H. Bleak, African Studies. Okay? And again, this is the article I read about earlier. That clearly says right here that William Bleak was the father of Bantu philology, and that he was the first to use the term Bantu. Okay? It's clear. All throughout this article, it is clear that a long time ago, that William Bleak was the first guy to coin this term in 1865. And these people are amazed at my knowledge and my intellect. I am the man, I'm telling you. They need to stop it. They just really need to stop it. We can see here clearly. Okay, I don't have to read this again. Here's the evidence. Here's the evidence right here. The very first paragraph, it says, for him the title of the father of Bantu philology, and it was he who was the first to use the term Bantu in 1865. Okay? It said Bleak. It said it talked about this guy who gave Bleak the idea for the Bantu for Ba. Okay, this guy named Doak. And Doak states that Bleak had, however, dealt with this term as early as 1857. His MS entitled Zulu Legends, prepared at the time, but not published until 1952, contains the following statement, that the word Abantu, men, people, means par excellence individual of the Kafir race. So these people are called the Kafir people, and they're not called the Bantu people, particularly in opposition to the noun Balingo, okay, the Balangu, okay? And it appears, therefore, to be the least general term for the family of the people. I mean, the best general term for the family of people, of which the Kafir is known to be one of the most original, and therefore not the Bantu, but the Kafir people. These people were not called the Bantu, they were called the Kafir, my friend. But he rests everything on this term called Bantu, which did not exist before 1865. And not only was the Bantu the Kafir people, but it belonged to a whole nother body of people as well, as we'll continue to read here. Okay? And it said, it appears therefore to be the best general term for the family of languages, of which the Kafir is known to be one of the most original, and therefore, for the purposes of philology, most important members. There has not yet been suggested any really appropriate name for the great family of languages and nations, okay? So the word Kafir is not the really appropriate name, nor Bantu. But Kafir is more appropriate than Bantu, whom Chris saying is so. And the real name, the really name, okay, there has not yet been suggested any real appropriate name for the great family of languages and nations, nor any other came into general use. Besides, the word Bantu is common to almost all languages of this kindred, brother. Therefore, is, however, a publication earlier than 1962 by Bleek in which he uses the term Bantu. This is his catalog of the Library of Sir George Gray, where he sets up. Man, these guys don't know what they're talking about. I could just end this right now. This is crazy.
When you read Amanda Sperling's work, she does a great job at identifying that genetically.
And is there a way I can share my screen to show where it says they, so if you go to the conclusion of the Limba Origins Revisited, it says